Okay, now it's gone. Okay, I'm opening this up as we go. Like first thing.
Oh. Have you not opened it up already?
No, I was gonna do it
Oh my
on camera so
gosh.
you could feel special.
Wow.
Do you feel special?
Dun dun dun.
There we go.
I
That's what I
should
look.
open mine up for the
Yes.
camera.
Let's see what you got.
Should I? This is not a sponsored ad.
It is not Mijenta Tequila. That's what you got. Well, okay. So I got.
Yep. Women owned, certified, additive free, carbon neutral,
Look at that.
made in Mexico.
Ah, dude, the Mexicans know how to do it. Oh, did you hear that pop?
And this adorable little cup that it came with.
Dude, that's nice. Here we
You
go.
can get this at your local liquor store, maybe.
That's
If
pretty
you live
sick.
in Fort Worth and
Mijenta.
live
We are not sponsored by
downtown.
Mijenta, but we could be.
Yeah,
This
tag
is
them.
Freelance Spirits and this is actually also women owned, and it's pretty cool.
Girl power.
Hell yeah! Now this one's also brewed in Portland, so it's kind of nice.
I'm also drinking this. Okay, this is another like I'm gonna put everyone that's watching onto these because I'm obsessed.
Oh yeah, this
Oh my
culture soda pops.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
These are the best things. Like I got one in I've been doing HelloFresh, which has like been the best thing I've ever done in my whole
Okay,
life.
is it really? My wife and I have been
Dude.
thinking about doing this.
Oh my
Really?
gosh. Yes, 1,000,000%. Like if you have kids and you have a family, it's really probably not the best thing because I don't know. It does take like a little bit of time, but it's teaching me how to cook. Like, and I'm making fire meals. Like, I'd rather eat at home now than go to a restaurant because they're so freaking good.
Interesting. That's good to
So
know.
good. And it's
But
just nice because, like, with cooking, I always got so much anxiety with cooking because it's like you make a new recipe and you have to go to the grocery store and get all the little ingredients, and then you waste so much because you only use a little bit of everything.
yeah, yeah,
And so it's just nice because it's all right there and the recipe's right there. And
it works well, dude. We're off to a hot start. Look at this. Okay, let me tell people who we're talking to before we get going, because it's like
yeah.
it's two random people are talking. My name's Andres Gambo. Welcome to the Ponytails Podcast. Everyone who's listening, thank you for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow, and like if you like this episode. But if you don't like it, don't tell anybody. But if you like it, tell your friends. Today I have a Lainey Ramaekers, and now Lainey, I've known you since
A long time.
2018,
2019.
after your first summer, which
Yeah,
let's get to that.
2019.
So Lainey sold for 5 summers originally, 2019 to 2023. She went to University of Nebraska Lincoln. Let's go Big Red. Originally from Norfolk, Nebraska, which wow, what a freaking town. And
Have you ever been to Norfolk?
yeah, so many times. Danny's Tacos
Oh yeah,
down in
y'all
the
grew
back
up
of
in
the
Grand
alley
Island.
is great. My lights are
Oh,
flickering
what's
because
it
it's
called?
Danny's Tacos, I think.
Oh,
Isn't it?
Danny's Tacos?
Yeah. I remember because Danny would always be like, let's go to my taco
Oh,
place.
that's so funny. I
It's
don't know.
funny
I've
the
never been
first time. It's
there.
delicious. Also, my lights are flickering, so if my power goes out, just stay on.
Oh my gosh, that would happen. That would happen right now.
Yeah, Now, okay.
Cool.
So let me continue. So number 5, 5 summers, Norfolk, Nebraska. What a place to be. And Lainey left Brookfield, is now working for an ad tech company. She's in the sales department there, which I'm excited to hear about what all that entails, because the world is changing and ad tech is a whole industry already. Look at that. Her favorite scroll is number 7. I will laugh at the world, which I think since I've known you, that's been pretty much a staple of your personality, is that you are a person who loves to laugh at the world. So fittingly, that is a good one. Welcome to the show. One more thing, we are brought to you by Cardinal Senior Benefits. Shout out Pedro Vega. Man, I was talking to them. They told us that over the course of the company, they've paid out $40 million in commissions to their agents. So if you want to be a part of some of that money that's going out, they have about 60 book people that are working with them now. Let us know. We'll get you guys in touch with them. We've had about 6 or 7 people who've heard about them through our podcast that are now working there. So obviously it's a cool place to work. A lot of people have been inquiring about that. So if you want more on that, like I said, messages on Instagram or wherever you're listening to this, find us. We'll get you in touch with the right people. All right, Lainey, let's take a cheers and then we'll jump in. Got my good, look at that little
Cheers.
chink. There you go. Then.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a good episode. All right. So, because you sold most recently, we're gonna go ahead and start with the rapid fire questions. So right off the bat,
Great.
5 summers. Where did you sell? What states or what territory?
Okay. Like just the states where
Yeah.
I sold. Okay. My first summer was Boston, Massachusetts, or like a suburb of Boston.
Beautiful.
Um,
Beautiful.
and then my second summer was COVID. So the first like 3 weeks was Kansas City in an Airbnb. And then we went to Ohio. And
Yes.
then my third summer was Maine. Fourth summer was West Virginia.
Ooh, the best
Yeah.
territory in the
Oh,
country.
I loved it actually.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
you need to ask me questions about West
Dude,
Virginia. I have a lot of them.
everybody that's sold in West Virginia here has had the wildest stories. I mean,
Honestly, and it makes
amazing.
it so fun. Like I feel like I'm so glad too that it was like my fourth summer, not my first, because I've always sold in like super high income places, from my first summer until like West
Big
Virginia,
break.
basically. And I always heard all these stories on like advanced sales on how crazy the book field gets. And I just like I didn't have any stories like that. And I was so like jealous of these people because I was like, all this fun stuff happens to all these people and they have all these crazy stories. And I just like don't. And until West Virginia, and it was like every single day I had like a crazy story, and I loved it. I was like, I've been waiting for this like 4 years.
This is the Southwestern experience.
Yeah. And then this last summer I was in New York.
Upstate, right?
Western technically.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
yeah.
that's where I sold. I sold in Wellsville,
Near.
in Hornell, and Ithaca,
Yeah.
just south of Rochester. Little towns like that.
Oh, okay. I was like north east Buffalo.
Yeah. And there's a town, Albion, I think it's in that area. And Albion is where I went skydiving the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good time.
Nice. Yeah, Albion. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
That was I didn't actually sell there, but I designated people to sell there.
Yeah,
That's good turf.
Yeah, it's great territory. You were in OL, right?
Some good turf. Yeah.
Hell yeah, we
Yeah.
love. That's what an experience. Okay, so that's where you
Yeah.
sold. Now West Virginia sounds like was your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first
For
rapid
sure.
fire question. Favorite territory. Okay, favorite
Yeah.
kind of turf, like big break,
Oh
low
my
income,
gosh.
super spread out country, suburbia, middle spread out country, high income, or what? Like, what was your?
It's
bread and
changed
butter?
a lot. Like if you asked me this earlier in my, Southwestern career, I would have said big brick. I always loved selling big brick.
Yeah.
Because you just feel so good, like and that was my first territory was big brick. So I feel like I
That's
learned
nice.
how to sell big brick. And then so that's like what I preferred for a long time. But now I really love like middle, really. Like, yeah. I don't know. It just depends on the place though. Like I feel like New York, like honestly I sold like middle high income and it was really, really fun. I loved it. But it was just because of the people, like the culture there was different. And so I really loved it. And then I mean West Virginia, like the whole place is pretty low income. I would say like the whole state. Except for there
Not
was
a lot
like
of big
one
brick.
town that was big brick that I actually did sell in for a little bit. I didn't really like it very much. But all my other summers I worked big brick and I've always had good summers. Like so I
Down
don't
in
have.
that holler.
Oh yeah, down in the holler.
That's
Yep.
how they talk.
Oh my gosh, it really is. Like I love West Virginia. I love the people, like no hate at all on any of them, but oh my gosh, the stereotypes are true. Like
There's stereotypes for a
and
reason.
it's great. Like it's cool. It was like different, but oh my gosh.
But it feels like a different country when you go to places.
Like you're not exaggerating when you are like, yeah, and I went to the holler and rode my 4-wheeler around. Like that
is how
was that was probably pretty.
It do be like that. It do be like that. Somebody was telling us who else? I think Brandon Q. Like Louisiana is kind of the same way. It's just like it feels like a different country. You're like you're not even in the
Yeah.
same place.
But
This
it
is
was so
America.
pretty too. Like I feel like just my drive to my turf was so beautiful, and it's just, yeah, it's interesting.
God,
There's a lot of poverty there. There's a lot of um what do you like opioid it's the opioid epidemic down there bad, like the
really?
drug there. Oh my gosh, such a bad drug problem in West Virginia.
Like how
It's
so?
so
How did
sad.
you see it?
I literally would have a game when people would follow me, which I mean, people followed me most days, and every single day, basically, I'd say, "All right, I have a game that I play with everyone. Like, you have to count the amount of crackheads you see today."
No way, it's that
That was a
often.
game, and so, yeah, Josie Lewis followed me, and she got to like 13 or 14.
Damn, dude,
Yeah, it's sad.
that's
And it's
crazy.
not even just like, oh, that person was weird. It was like on the street, like tweaking out, literally,
On drugs,
yeah,
you
like
could tell.
very
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah. Here in Portland, it's a little bit like that. Not everywhere in Portland, but in the parts where they like to hang out, it's like whoa, that there is no doubt the person's tweaking. Like it's
Yeah,
very obvious.
it's really sad because
Yeah,
I don't know, you grow up in it and you just kind of think it's normal or whatever. I don't know.
yeah. It's not. Yeah, there's so that's a whole rabbit. That could be a story for Bizzler. That whole conversation. It's
Yeah,
it's. I
yeah,
mean, it's wild. But I think the larger point of this is it speaks to what the book field exposes you to in real life. Like I think that
yeah.
was one of the
No,
biggest
it's a
things.
really
Right?
good. I think, yeah, the book field. I'm really grateful for because when you work in different areas, you just have a new perspective on someone else's situation, and you come home and you're like, oh wow, like I'm very grateful.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And you start realizing that there's people that live so differently, even though it's the same country. There's still like it's like whoa, this is a whole different.
yeah,
You know.
and a lot of people had never even left the state.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It's
there's
just
people like that
crazy.
in Nebraska too, where we grew
Yeah,
up, you know? It's
yeah.
like, I have a
I
buddy
mean
of mine
everywhere.
who he's only ever left, he would never listen to this anyway, but he's only ever left one time, and it was for his honeymoon. And he went to Hawaii and he hated it. Other than that, he's never left the state. And I'm like, not even like the Kansas
Wow,
City to like see the Chiefs play, nothing. I'm like,
wow.
what is that even like? I mean, I guess it's got to be
Yeah,
blissful in some ways, like, right? You're in like your own little small paradise, but it's like,
yeah.
bro, you're
I
missing
mean,
out. Have you been
yeah.
to Medellin? Oh my god,
Everyone, such a cool place.
it is though,
Oh
isn't
my
it?
gosh, such a cool place. I did
Oh
not know what to expect, honestly, going there. Like I got no pre-approach on the area. I didn't even know what to pack. Like I had no idea what. But yeah, oh my god, I would so go back. I loved it.
yeah, dude, it's wild. Did you see my paintings, by the way?
Your paintings?
Yeah, look.
Wait,
I got those at
are those?
Comuna 13. Yeah, I was the one that told Danny to go there. I was like, you got to go here.
I have a picture with the guy that painted those.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
cool.
there's a ton of artists, so but there are a lot of like the prominent ones, but they're
Oh,
sick, right?
Danny
Like
took us to like a
special place.
art museum place, and we
Oh
met
yeah,
the artist. I didn't know if
yeah.
it was the same guy.
It probably is. I mean, they only commission a few of them to do it, but it's in that like Commune 13 or whatever that you like
Yeah,
go up.
no,
Yeah,
that's where we went.
it's amazing, isn't it?
Wait, should
Pub-
I show you the picture?
yeah, if you want to.
Do you know what the artist looks like? Did you get it
No,
there actually?
yeah, I got them there. I got them. There. I got 5 of them.
You didn't
Like
meet the artist though?
no, it was his.
Oh, maybe it.
He wasn't home. He was like not around. He was like
Oh,
commissioning other stuff. But I mean, it's a beautiful culture of painting. Like the art scene there is insane,
yeah,
right? It's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's really cool. It's everywhere.
I was really inspired by what was happening there because Medellin is not known for like that particular place. That's where Pablo Escobar was like raised. So it's
Yeah,
not
I
known for
know.
being nice,
When we
until
were
now.
there, he was talking about. So we had like a little tourist that Carolina. Do you know who Carolina
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. Corzo?
Corso, yeah.
Yeah.
She actually lived there for, I don't know, like 6 months or something like that. She's got family there.
Yeah.
She knows this guy who does he's like super involved in the community. So he gave us a little tour of Commune 13.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how they're doing acupuncture is what he called it on the city, where they're just implementing like small things to bring more tourists in to like, you know, bring more money to the area and make it more, you know,
Yeah.
beautiful and like
Yeah.
more infrastructure and everything. So it was really cool. They have like an escalator now in a part. Yeah. Have you been there since then? I don't know when
Yeah.
last time you went.
I was there a year ago, almost today actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Oh,
there last year.
cool.
I was writing about the paintings and stuff. And I got this hat
Thanks.
there. Well, not a I got this in Medellin, but not at that place. But
Hmm.
yeah, it says Colombia and that stuff on the back. Sick. But no,
Nice.
I know what you mean. Like it's an interesting place because, and for people listening who might not like, what the hell are these guys talking about? So there's a basically, long story short, is in the 90s, if you've seen Narcos, you know, that place it was actually the most dangerous neighborhood in the world statistically, per violent crime per capita by a mile. And so after the drug cartels were kind of chased off and disbanded, they kind of tried to fix it up. But it's still like, if you look at the buildings and stuff, it's still what people would call like low or like poverty favela kind of vibes. So it's not like there's these beautiful homes, but what they did instead is they commissioned graffiti artists to like paint and tell the story of what happened and represent like this history of this place. And now it's like this vibrant graffiti community, and it's beautiful and it's full of tourists. It's still like in the middle of like what would, the ghetto or whatever people know it as, but it's also like what happened is a lot of the criminals and stuff went, hold on, if we let these tourists come here and like check out this place and then have them pay in US dollars or euros or pounds, then it's actually better for everybody. And just don't touch anybody. Like, just leave them alone. So even though it's like not in the nicest part of town, it's still a pretty safe place to go tour, because it's people there are, like I paid, I think it's like $500 or something for or $200 for these paintings, but to them that's a year's income. So it was a win-win, right? And so that's the place we're talking about. It's a beautiful place called Comuna 13 or Commune 13. If you're in Medellin, you have to go there. It's incredible. It's really, really cool. So yeah, sorry to go on a rant there, but just to explain.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was a good
Yeah.
explanation.
And so
I
long story
agree.
short, some people don't travel and they don't go to places like that.
I was like, how do we get on that topic?
Oh,
I think you were rapid fire questioning me, and then
Yeah.
I just I don't know.
No, it's all good. Listen, rapid fire is kind of just like more like we should just have questions because they're not
Yeah.
very rapid.
They're not very rapid.
All right. Next one. Favorite advanced sales. I love this question.
Oh, Bill Zizzy and Dave Rosen. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. I love that.
It's the best
So
one.
good.
It's the best one.
I will say though, I did listen to Yvette Keister every single day for like a whole entire summer from 1 to 5. and then I
amazing.
listened to it for too long, and I switched to Bill Zizzy and Dave Rosen. And
You can't listen to that one
love
for too
it.
long. It just, especially
Bill Zizzy and
we
Dave
love-
Rosen. I never got sick of that one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
and we've had Dave Rosen on here a couple times, and we love Dave, but R.I.P. Bill Zizzy, because that first chunk of that is the funniest part. Although Rosen's is still good,
Yeah.
but Bill's is the funniest.
Yeah.
Gotta sell books again. That's so good. All right.
Gosh, I need to dig those up.
I'll send them to you. We are brought to you guys by Cardinal Senior Benefits, who was started 5 years ago by two book guys, Nick Dale and Pedro Vega. And over the last 5.5 years, they've been doing over $40 million in sales in the insurance business. They started with their flagship product, which was final expense insurance, and are now expanding into a bunch of different industries, including annuities and Medicare. So stay tuned for that. But if you guys want to join the other 35 book kids that are working with them from all over the United States, make sure you guys message us or click the link below to get more information about working with Cardinal Senior Benefits so they can get into their best year ever in 2024. They've been doubling every year since their inception. All right, back to the show. Favorite HQ?
The last one I just oh wait, actually I take it back. It was my first summer. I had the best HQ. I had the best experience my first summer in all aspects, but my favorite HQ is my first summer. Do you want me to like explain it?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So it was super amazing. I was gonna say bad. Hey.
You mean that was badass?
It was great. It was awesome. It was really fun.
Just say it, Lainey. Just say it.
No, I'm a changed woman. Anyways,
It's gonna be my goal. It's my goal to get you to cuss at least one time.
it's not gonna happen. So it was literally me and like 4 other student leaders, and they were all like beasts. It was Crystal, who I'm now like best friends with.
Love Crystal.
And Meredith Gardner, who
oh my gosh, Meredith is the GOAT.
So a little background for people who don't know who Meredith is. She sold for, I don't even know, 4 or 5 summers, probably, in her undergrad. And then she went to go get her doctorate and stopped doing Southwestern. And then when she graduated, she just decided to come out and sell for like 8 weeks just to, get some extra money to pay for grad school. And she happened to be my roommate. And so it was a lot of fun. She was just such a great person to have. Yeah. And then Seppa, oh my gosh, love her. Do you know who Seppa is?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Seppa 2I.
Yeah, I think.
Sione's sister and Falila. I don't know if you know who those people are.
I think I met them at your fall ball, or like because Lainey sometimes had me talk to you guys or to your group. And I think I met Seppa one of the.
She's so fun. She's the best. I think it was her second summer. It was Crystal's second summer, it was Seppa's second summer, and then Meredith, came back, and then we had another first year living with us for like a little bit. But those were kind of my roommates for the summer. And we also lived with alumni that sold. They both sold, like the mom and the dad. They were older. The kids had grown out. They lived in a big house in Massachusetts with a pool, like an underground pool. And they both had sold for like 7 summers.
Is this
like back in the 70s. The host parents.
Yeah, I know. What was their name?
Mel and Ernie.
We got to get them on the show.
I know. They're awesome. And they're still so cool. Like they were traveling the world last year or during 2020 or 2021. I can't remember, but they were just like traveling the whole world, like, or the whole US in their van.
Damn.
They just have so much fun. They bike together. They're like the cutest couple.
Goals.
They took us out at the end of the summer, and Ernie was like telling us about how he made it to sales school. He literally hitchhiked to sales school back in the 70s.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Isn't that crazy to hear about?
It's so crazy.
Dude.
I just can't even imagine doing that.
It was just so normal. Dan Moore was on here and he told us how he hitchhiked. And then we even had, Lee McCroskey, like anybody who sold in like the 70s and 60s. Like we've had people who sold in the 60s on here. And they were like, "Oh, you just hitchhiked."
So cool.
Time with the serial killers. You guys are doing that. Hell yeah. So, all right, that's a good one.
So that was really fun. Yeah.
Favorite breakfast spot.
I'm trying to remember all my breakfast spots. Okay. Gosh, I've always gotten really lucky, honestly. What was this last summer? No, this last summer was I think I would have to say, in Ohio. Oh my gosh, yes. This is a good story.
What's the name of the place? Tell me the story.
Dunkin'.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, I'm not saying it. I mean, there was better food places. Like, I guess I could tell you my favorite restaurant.
No, this is good. Tell the story.
It wasn't the best food.
Just so you know, normally I just, if it's like some mom and pop shop, I try to Google it and then put it on the screen.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even tell you the mom and shop. whatever you call it, Pop and Shop, Mom and Shop. I couldn't tell you the names of them. I don't remember.
Dude.
There was only 2 of them that weren't like a Dunkin' Donuts or
Waffle House.
I never went to a Waffle House, but in West Virginia, we went to a, what's it called? Oh my gosh.
Oh, they have those toast.
Yes, Tudor's
Tudor's,
biscuits.
Yes.
Everywhere. They're like the
Yeah.
McDonald's of West Virginia.
I think Logan told us about the Tudors.
That was his favorite breakfast spot.
No, I don't think. I think it was just his most memorable because he just came up with the first one that he thought of. But
Oh,
but what happened at Dunkin' in Ohio?
Okay, so Dunkin' in Ohio. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. So that was really fun HQ too because I lived with Kenzie Jensen.
Oh yeah.
Kat. You probably wouldn't know her, but she's a beast. She only sold for 1 summer. She's now like in the Air Force and is really cool. Anyways, so we went to Dunkin'. There was regulars every single morning that sat right next to us, and they were all really amazing. They would like buy us breakfast most days. They just loved us. They loved what we were doing. They thought we were just like amazing. And one of them, it was like he like painted for fun. So he painted all of us like these little pictures, like these little and it was good. Like I literally had them displayed in my room for probably 2 years, and I'm sure I still have them somewhere. I don't know really where, but that was really cool. And then this other guy, his name is Don, and he still messages me on Facebook. He's like the sweetest old man ever. I love him. He's so sweet. If you go on stalk my Facebook, you'll see his comments like on all my posts. Like he's just like, "Oh, Lainey, you're so beautiful. I miss you." Oh. He's so great. And he was so sweet because he gave us. He would like sit with us sometimes and read Og with us, and they came out and did execs with us, all of them. And Kenzie had car problems during the summer, and Dawn told us all, like, if you guys have any issues, call me up, I'll help you. And so she calls Dawn, and he ended up taking her car to his local whatever, the place that he normally goes for his car, and he paid for her like to get a new transmission or something crazy, like just like fixed it for her. Yeah. And then him and his wife took us all out at the end of the summer to dinner, and it was just really cool.
You guys were really just the grandkids that he always wanted.
I don't know. And it's funny, he had a daughter like our age, but he's older, so I don't know. But he's really great. Shout out Don.
Don, you're the man.
Love you.
Don's the best. Okay. That's a good one. Good breakfast spot. Love that. Favorite follow day? Whether someone followed you or you followed them, either way.
Oh my gosh. I always hated following people, to be honest. I don't have like my favorite follow day. I always just got so bored. I mean, it was always great. All the people I followed were amazing. It was super helpful, but I always just like wanted to go work. I don't know. But Bo Simone followed me in West Virginia, and it was so fun. It was so funny. I actually threw up because I laughed so hard.
Yes. Was it like in the car, or were you like at a door?
We were pulling out of a driveway, and we were having the like funniest just event after event after event, like house after house. It was just like the funniest situation ever. And then this one house in particular, we were pulling out of the driveway, and it was already just a really funny situation. And then Bo, like, I don't remember what he said, but he's a funny guy. Like, he's hilarious. Yes. And so he said something funny, and I was drinking my water. And when he said it to me, I started laughing so hard, I started choking. And so I literally had to stop my car and in their driveway and open my door, and I like threw up.
That's what you said. That's
and
what you
like,
said.
All right,
no, Mrs. Jones.
What's that?
That's what you get for saying no, Mrs. Jones.
Oh no, they said yes. They bought.
Oh, they bought.
Oh yeah, of course.
Look for my green card. Bleh. See ya. Lovely. All
Yep.
right. Favorite off schedule story.
I was never off schedule.
Oh, that's
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was.
with
I
all
was.
this manure. There's gonna be a pony somewhere.
My favorite off schedule, like, what do you mean by that?
Whatever,
Like,
whatever that means to
the
you, I
most
suppose.
fun I've had being off
Sure,
schedule,
sure.
I feel like it was always a shameful thing if I were ever off schedule. I'm trying to think,
Yeah, that's what the Kool-Aid wanted you to
you
think.
know?
And listen, if you're first year, go back to work. If you're listening to this and you're first year, get back to work. But also, what was your favorite off schedule? What was
Okay.
either
Let
your
me
favorite?
think of a funny story or something.
Sure. It doesn't
I'm,
like Meredith
I'm,
actually told us about one time that she got off schedule because she got invited to go off schedule. It was like her first summer, and the manager was like, "Hey, come to this park on like a Thursday," and she shows up and like half the org is just at this park drinking beer.
no
Yeah, she's like,
way.
"What the fuck?" So then they're like, "Hey, what's up? Welcome," or whatever, and she's like, "You guys are just off schedule?" They're like, "Yeah," and so then she's like, "This is stupid," and she went back to work.
Yeah. See, this is why she's a beast.
Yeah, dude. But just like that.
That's so
You
funny.
just
What the
show up
heck?
to a park
That's so
and half
weird.
the org is just having a party.
Can you imagine? Like, Danny's like, hey, come to the park. Like, and everyone just answers their phone. Like, everyone in the whole org just is like, okay.
They're all there.
That's
This
crazy.
is before Sales Rabbit, so you couldn't really, they couldn't know where you were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, back when we sold, back in 2012.
Okay. Honestly, I can't think of like a funny story or like a fun off schedule story. Like I never like went and partied with my customers. Like, but
Oh no.
the one story I can think of is I did go work out during the day once.
Nice. Where'd you go?
So getting that off my chest. I actually told
Hey,
Deanie that
Danny.
when we were in Medellin.
Hey, Daddy. Oh, he didn't know. I thought
No,
he
he already
knew.
knew that.
Oh, damn.
But
Hey,
yeah, it was like
Purgas.
raining. It was raining. It was like my first summer, and it was like actually towards the end of the summer, and it was like pouring rain. I was just like, this is so dumb, and I was like kind of emotional because I was like, what am I supposed to do right now? It's raining. It's like literally, I can't even step outside without just getting soaking wet. And I have such a hard time not working out for a long period of time. And so I was like, so just wanting to work out, which is so funny. So I called my mom and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's pouring. I should go work, but I don't want to. And she was like, Lainey, or I was like, I just want to go work out. She's like, just go work out. Like, it's not that big a deal. And so I did. And I felt really bad about it. I didn't tell anybody. So, yeah, I don't know. That's the only story I can think of.
You didn't go to like the movies or something?
No.
Dude,
oh my
gosh. I went to the movies.
I needed to pay for college.
That's fair. My whole third summer, I was just like doing all sorts of shit. It was awesome.
Your what summer?
Third. Yeah.
What's your best off schedule story?
Dude.
What's the best movie you saw on your off schedule?
Oh man, what was the best movie? I don't even remember at this point. I saw a lot of them.
I saw all of them.
There was times where
they were all great. They were all better than working.
Oh, it was better than working. My third summer, one time I went to hang out with dude, I have some good off schedule stories. I can't remember if it was my third summer. I think it was my third summer. I was off schedule a little bit my fourth summer, but I was more on schedule from the standpoint of I was going to work, but I wasn't like really mentally on schedule, if you will. Like I would never second approach but it was like minimal effort, but I was going to the doors, which in my head I'm like, that's worse. I should just go to the movies anyway. But I did every once in a while, just kind of not work. Anyway, but one of the summers, I can't remember if it was the third or fourth, but I went to the mall and just walking around, and I walked into the store and this cute girl was working there, and it was obvious, like it was a perfume store, so there was really nothing for me to buy, but I was just like walking into every store to see how people approach me, actually was what I was doing. And yeah, she starts like hitting on me, and I just, it was nice to sit there for the compliments for a little bit, get on some cute girl hitting on you. It's like, all right,
Oh
this is
my
nice. And then I
gosh.
went home. Like, that was it.
And then you went home to the
Yeah, it was
HQ during the day.
when I got off schedule, it was like always I just ended early. Most of my off schedule stories was
Oh,
like
just okay.
I already sold something, so it's
Sure.
not a 0 day, or even if it was a 0 day, but like if it was pouring rain, I'm like, I hated working in the rain. So I'm like, this is stupid. I'm just gonna go to the movies because it's not raining in the movies. so
Oh my
so
gosh.
yeah, but it was never like that's not true. Sometimes it was like as soon as I got a customer. So if it was like an early morning customer, it's like boom, I just sold a big platy, 70 units for the day. Why not? And I just go to
Wow, that's
or if
crazy.
it was a mufu, I just didn't want it to be a 0 day. And so I would go until I sold like a mufu, and then I'd go to the anyway. But one time I hung out with a customer.
Shame, shame.
Sure, give it. I
I'm
don't.
just kidding. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
I don't, dude. I will be honest with you. It's amazing how shameful you do feel during it. And there is an aspect of like, hey,
I
you said you were gonna
know.
work, and you said that you were gonna, and I get that. But on the other hand, I'm just like, hey, listen, this is a college internship. I'm 20 years old. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna
I
define
feel
me
like
as
it
a
just
person.
depends. I feel like it depends like what you're doing it for too. Cause I feel like I could see that, if like you're going out to learn how to sell or whatever, like you're doing it for like an internship and you're trying to learn skills, like selling skills and stuff. Like I feel like I just was always like trying to make so much money and I just like never even thought to.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm perfect and I never was off schedule by any means, but
yeah.
you know what I mean?
You
I
had
never was
you
I'm
had to work.
satisfied with, yeah, like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I was
and
always like, oh, I'm like stressed out. Like,
yeah,
I need to sell more.
and I didn't care about the money. There was a lot. There was a lot of stuff going on that summer for me, particularly. It was after my parents got divorced, and
Mm.
I've talked about this in some other episodes. So sorry if some
I
people
feel
are
like you and
listening.
I have talked about this like
Yeah, yeah. It's just
before.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a situation where it's like there's more to it than just like some. I'll put it this way: some book people would listen to this and go, "Oh, he was just lazy," and it's like, no, because I was still doing the work and I was still working. Out of the 80 I was supposed to work, I was still working like 40. So it's still like a full work week in the adult world. It's not like I was just
Yeah.
from 8 a.m. to 9:30 just sitting in my car or going to the movies or to the park.
Right.
No, like I was still doing the job, but there was often times where I'm like, okay, like I got a sale, and I don't. To be honest with you, I just learned I hated working the book field. I hated just.
Mm.
I didn't like selling books. I liked the Southwestern experience of selling books. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that,
I mean, I think most people would say
yeah,
that.
but the door to door in the heat.
I don't think most people liked
Oh, but
selling door to door.
yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. And we've had enough alumni here to kind of hash that out or figure that out. But some people actually did enjoy the going door
I
to door.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, so, you
Yeah.
weirdos.
But I understand most people don't.
Yeah,
And I could see why, like
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, no, it's it was fine. Now, can I do it again? Like if a gun to my head or my wife and I are struggling financially and we need to like, how do we get $10,000 really quick?
Yeah.
I mean, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I would know what to
It's
do,
yeah.
but like the actual, I'm like, ugh, this is no, it's not fun. I enjoyed talking to people, but it wasn't the same. Anyway, so that's
Hmm.
I went horseback riding with some customers and I did some fun stuff. It was cool.
You did during the
Oh yeah.
day? That's so
Oh yeah.
fun. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I think that summer I decided, hey, if there's an experience that's going to be had where it's like, I'm going to look back on this fondly, even though I'm not working,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to do it. And so this, like, I still have pictures with this family and they were like, they loved me. We were watching the World Cup. It was the World 2014. And, they were like, hey, do you want to, first they asked me if I wanted to milk a cow because they had a farm. And I was like, hell yeah. So I milked a cow. Like, think about that. That's so cool. I milked a cow. And then they were like, do you want to go ride some horses? And I said, yes.
Yeah.
So they saddled it up. They got the whole
course.
thing. And then we got on their horse and we just horseback it. It was just so fun.
That's so
Just fun with
fun.
people. So
Yeah.
why not have those experiences? Now,
Yeah.
again, if you're selling books and this is your first summer, go sell a lot of books. Go figure it out. Like the only reason I told myself that was okay is because I already, hit PC and I had, big summers. I was top first year. So I figured out how to do the job. Once that was like done, I was like, all right, let's just have fun while I'm out here. So
Yeah.
the whole approach. Anyway, thanks for asking. It's nobody asked me questions ever. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Favorite sales day. Now this could be your best sales day in units, or it could just be like your favorite like day because you almost quit and you didn't, or you met the woman.
Those typically were not my favorite days. The days I wanted to quit. Those are probably my worst days.
Yeah. But some people have had those days where it's like that's when my life changed. That's when I committed to being a person of my word and blah, and I found Jesus. And you're like, that's awesome for you. That's a great day.
Yeah.
Some people it's like customers.
Gosh. Probably the same day that Bo followed me. Like it was just such a fun day. It was a good day in units, but I don't remember like how much I sold by any means. I don't know. But I know like I mean a lot of people were buying and it was just hilarious. Like every single person we met was just hilarious. Like oh my gosh, it's all coming back to me. So the first door I had him knock on, because this was the beginning of the summer, sort of. I think it was like, first few weeks, I don't know, of West Virginia. And it was a new, it was super new. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. But it was like a new town or whatever. I worked like the same school district the whole summer, but it was like a new town. And I had Bo knock on a door and he got to sit down, and like halfway through the sit down, there's a snake that just starts like slithering up to us. And it was, or no. Gosh, I said the story wrong. No, gosh. You're gonna have to like cut this out. It's all like coming back to me. Okay, so
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm getting the story right. Okay, so we're sitting down. The snake starts slithering up, and so literally the girl, and it's this mom, and then she's got her little like daughter next to her, and Bo showing them the kids' books. He's doing a great job. The snake starts coming up. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's a snake. And it was like right behind Bo. And so he gets up and there's a shovel like next to him, like we're on the porch. And he grabs the shovel and just starts butchering this snake. Like didn't ask her. I mean, it was not their pet. Like she was freaking out. Yes. I have a picture of it. Yes. I actually think it's his Voxer profile picture.
Oh my god!
I could easily pull it up right now.
Was it like bigger than like my arm? Like bigger than?
Yeah, it was like.
Oh, so you're talking like multiple feet long, pretty thick.
Yes, it was big. If it was a gardener snake, it was a big one. I don't know different kinds of snakes.
What kind of snakes are found in West Virginia? That'd be.
It was decently big, and he just started, and it wouldn't die. So he was like, literally stabbing it and like cutting it in half, and it was still like wiggling around. So he would like stab it again, and it was a process. It got to a point where me and the mom were just like watching him like kill this snake, and we were just like, all right, like, are you done yet? Like,
so what everyone likes about the way we do business.
Yeah. And so then the snake dies, and then we just go back into the sales talk, and they bought. It was great. Like it worked out. like it was so funny. So then we got pictures.
It would have been 20 minutes of a sit down, except for the 5 that we spent watching you over and over.
Yeah.
The snake.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny. It was so funny. Shit. Oh my gosh, that day was so fun. And then the very next house that has a person in it, we knock on the door, is like down the street. We're sitting down with this lady, and she's like, we get done or whatever, and she goes, do you guys want to see my pet snake?
No way.
And we were like, we just killed a snake. Like the last house. We just killed it. You want to see the picture? So she literally brings her pet snake out.
Yes.
We're like, yeah, let's see it. Like, bring it out. So she brings it out. And so I got a picture of Bo with it, just like on his shoulder. He's like hanging out with the snake.
It's like a boa if it's around his shoulder.
Oh, it was a big one. It was big. It was bigger than the one we killed. And it was so funny in the Voxer that night. I like posted the picture of him like holding the snake as if it was like someone's pet. And then the next picture I posted of him like with the killed all bloody snake in the shovel that he like killed. It's like, we had a fun day today.
Sis, how many units is this?
And then like the next house was the house that I literally threw up because I was laughing so hard because oh my gosh, this is just bringing back. I love talking about the book field, especially West Virginia, because it's just so funny.
That's very convenient for this podcast.
That I worked in West Virginia.
Well, that you like talking about the book field.
Oh, exactly. But yeah, and then the next house, it was this family. The mom's name was Leah. I don't remember what the dad's name was, but it was a funny, like very unique name. And then the son's name was also the dad's name. And I wish I could remember what his name was because it honestly made everything like funnier. Because the dad's name was like a funny, like unique name. Like it was just unique. And the first thing that like I asked Leah, the mom, what her son's name is, and the son was like probably 5 or 6. And she was like, I hate his name.
Yes.
We named him after my husband. I hate it. Like, so it was just so funny.
Just shitting on your husband and your kid all with one sentence.
And the kid was just like acting out. Like he was acting crazy, which I understand like that happens, but it was just so funny because like Leah was like apologizing over and over and over again. And then the son got a bat and just started like beating the dad with it. And so then the dad grabbed a bat and they were chasing each other. He was chasing the kid like around the yard with the bat and like actually like trying to hit him. And then the son went up to his car and started like banging the car with a bat. I mean, he was like 5, so he wasn't really doing that much damage, but
still, that's a solid little swing for the little man.
Oh yeah, so funny.
Dude,
so
West
funny.
Virginia is wild.
You never sold there?
No, I wish. I mean, now
you might have to go back for a summer.
Meredith's first summer was actually in West Virginia. That was where she found her org at the park.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've heard amazing stories from there. I mean, anytime someone says West Virginia, it's a good episode. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, go on and on and on and on.
Biggest family by numbers.
What do you mean?
Like number of kids.
Oh.
I sold to a family. I want to say it was 16 kids. 16 or 17 kids. Yeah.
Wow.
You probably if you only met like, 4 or 5, that's normal. But
like there was a family that had 10 kids. That's a lot.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but it was like
5, I think.
It wasn't like a mom and dad that had like 10 kids. Or I did. Well, okay. What I was gonna say is it was in West Virginia. Most of the family, or a lot of the families, the parents had drug problems a lot of times, and so their grandparents would take care of their kids, and then it was just an issue where like a lot of grandparents were taking care of like 10 kids, because they're like whatever. But I did in Ohio, there was this dad, he was a trucker, and he took care of like 6 kids by himself, and he was a truck driver.
That's crazy.
So crazy. He was such a cool guy. Such a great family.
You meet people like
crazy.
that in the book field and you're like, you're amazing. I couldn't do this. I can do a lot of things, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I can't even imagine like being a single mom to like 1 kid.
Yeah.
Let alone 6.
Yeah, dude. 6. If more than 3 kids per parent is too much.
What's that?
More than 3 kids per parent is too much. Like You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah,
if
yeah.
there's two parents and there's more than 6 kids, that's too many. If it's a single mom
Just
with
add
4
a
kids,
parent
yeah,
if you're having
it's
more than 6.
crazy. Yeah, just open up your marriage.
Polygamy.
Yeah, get polygamous and then start bringing in some more fire. It's impossible. It's impossible. Like, how do you feed 10 kids? How's dinner? Like, no way, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Can't even imagine.
Yeah, Joel Cush, he's a guy I sold with. He's in the force, and he was the youngest of 10. And every time, and then he would always say, "I'm the youngest of 10, and I have 27 nieces and nephews, or 34 nieces and nephews." I don't remember, something crazy like that. And I'm like, dude, that's if they're evenly spread, that's like 2 birthdays and then some per month that you have to like remember. Like for your
Yeah.
kids, you
Oh
know what
my
I'm saying?
gosh.
I got
It would
Vapor
just
and
be
Vale,
constant.
and my wife's the youngest of 6, and then she has 14 nieces and nephews on that side, so there's 16, and I can keep track of them. You know, they each
That's
have
a
their own
lot.
personality. Yeah, it's a lot. I inherited these 14 plus the 2 I had. You know, so it's like, well, we can keep track of them for the most part. You know, like okay, you know, this is you know, this person's like this and this one's like that. But can you imagine having 34 nieces and nephews? That's crazy. What's
You'd
Christmas?
forget.
It's impossible. You
Yeah.
forget their
Oh my
names. You're
gosh.
like,
Yeah.
Steve?
Who are you again? Oh, forgot.
Stuart. Yes. Sorry. Ugh. Anyway, all right.
How many kids do you and your wife want to have? Or do you want kids?
I don't know if we have. Now you sound like my mother. Good old Sandra.
What's the timeline?
I don't know. We don't know. We're
Girl
not.
or boy?
You know. I've always said. I always thought it'd be cool to have twins.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just and then be done. Just be like, we got 2.
They'll always compare themselves, though.
Good. That breeds competition. And that breeds success. No, I'm joking. But like, I think it'd be cool to have a boy and a girl. It'd be kind of nice. Maybe a third one in there, just in case the 2 suck. You know, it's always funny to me how the people are like, my kids are amazing. It's like, yeah, statistically speaking, not everybody's telling the truth when they say that. Maybe your kid sucks, and that's okay.
I know. It's so crazy.
It was just, that was what's funny about selling books. And people are like, oh, my kid's on the honor roll. And you're like,
It's so funny. The book field. Yeah. You just meet so many parents, and like some of them are pretty open about how they really feel about their kids.
yeah, I mean, I would never say that to their face.
Right.
You know, I would never be like, hey,
I hope not.
Billy, you suck.
Yeah.
But you would have that. You would have parents be like,
I mean,
no,
some parents do. Yeah,
Yeah.
right in front of their kid. Like,
yeah, that's rough.
he's gonna amount to nothing. Like,
Eesh, that's tough. I mean, that's tough on a kid. That's why you don't say it to a kid. But in your head, you can be like, hey, my kid kind of is mean. He's a mean kid, and he's mean to other kids, and that's part of life, right? Hitler was somebody's kid. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Jeffrey Dahmer had a mom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody has good kids, and that's okay.
but you don't know how. You know, I feel like there's a level. Obviously, you know, anything can happen, but there's a level to parenting where it's like you could be super involved, or there's also parents that are super absent, and like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, parenting has a lot. There was Aziz Ansari. He's a comedian. I don't know if do you know Aziz?
Who?
Aziz Ansari.
No.
He's not as much around anymore, but he was pretty big in the early 2010s. But he has a bit when he's like, you could do all the math, you can do all the homework, you can read all the books about parenting, go to all the conferences, you could still end up with a total piece of shit kid. Like,
yeah, that's scary.
Like that's just how it works. And I'm not saying
true.
Like I was giving Hitler and Jeffrey Dahmer, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying like the kid that just is at school and he's mean. He's just the bully of the school. Like that could be your kid pretty easily, you know? And it's like, how do you deal with that? That's scary. That's a gamble. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. My point is, oh yeah, all parents are like, oh no, my kid's great. It's like some of you are not right. Some of you are, I mean, sometimes, yes, you're right. We meet your kid. That's a good kid. But we've met most kids in a community. And they're not all great.
Yeah.
Some of them suck. All right, sorry, that's too much. Sorry, kids. Every one of my customers had great kids, though.
Everyone who bought from me, though,
great kids. Well, of course, because they had good parents.
Yeah.
All right, and then last rapid fire question: most famous person you met, if anybody. Maybe you didn't meet anybody.
I did meet famous people. My first summer.
Yeah, mess.
Yeah, and I worked very high income. There was a family or a mom that had, so it was so funny. She lived in a ginormous house. Like the whole community was just, everyone was CEOs or whatever. And I walked inside. She like invited me in. She was buying, and I think she had to get like her credit card or something. I walk in, and like she had ginormous like walls, just like ceilings were to like just so high. And covering the walls were ginormous portraits of her dog. And I was like, what's up with this? Like, I was like,
yeah.
I walked down, I'm like, so do you just like really love your dog, or like what's up with all of the portraits of your dog? Like your dog's adorable, but like what's going on here? Like y'all just love your dog like a lot or what? And she was like, oh, he starred in a movie, blah, blah, blah. Started telling me like what the movie was about and whatever. But yeah, like literally her dog starred in a movie.
You met a person who had a famous dog.
Yeah.
It's an Airbud.
Yep.
Like, who the fuck was this dog?
I don't know. I don't remember. Some movie about how a dog like rescues, I don't know, rescues a man from the sea or something.
Huh.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then right across the street from her was my biggest, or I guess, he actually was not my biggest customer, but he was for a long time. His name is Joe Shea,
Is he
I
a
think.
movie star?
Pretty sure that's his name. He owns like Ken's Dressing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, his family or him. I don't know.
Let me see if I can Google him.
It was such a crazy. I mean, if you want me to tell the story, it was crazy. Maybe we can
listen. This
save
is
it for the crazy story.
Oh, is that the
question.
ponytail story?
Yeah.
You're saying okay? All right, let me put that in on the chat then.
Yeah, that's my pony. Or actually, I have a different ponytail story that I could say too.
Okay, type that into the chat so you have a choice. But it's your call when you want to tell these.
I'll remember.
Are you sure? Just type it into the chat just in case. Just in case. Unless it is like a spoiler.
I don't even know what I would type in, but I'll remember.
Okay.
I'll never forget this woman.
So what happened to Ken's Dressing guy?
So Ken's Dressing, or Joe, I was so nervous to knock on this guy's door for like all summer, actually. Well, since I had been in that town. And it was like the second to last week of the summer, and I talked to his neighbor, and she was just a sweet lady. I didn't actually sit down with her because she didn't have kids, but she was like, oh my gosh, you need to go next door and talk to Joe. Like, he's got a 2-year-old. He's so nice, yada, yada, yada. Like, you have to go there. And I knew already that he had a 2-year-old, and I already knew that I should go there. But her telling me, I was like, okay, I'll go. But so it was one of those things where it was like Mr. Mediocrity in my head, like the whole time I was like in that neighborhood, because he always had like a million cars, and he had like a valet parking. Like,
Joe had it like that.
That was my whole first summer. Like craziness, crazy houses. Like, yeah.
What town was this?
Southborough.
Oh, yes.
Look it up on the map.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with the.
Are you?
With Mass? Oh, yeah. Because it was my second summer, and I was AOL that summer.
Oh, there you go.
And all around Boston. I sold like North Boston, but we had people everywhere. Asia was in Foxborough.
Okay.
That summer. Just that you're like west of, right? By by Farmingham, or Farmingham is the way they would say it.
I don't know.
Good
I
times.
was just a first year.
You're a little.
I just typed it into the maps. Ask me about any other territory.
Anyway, so big.
Anyways, so yeah, he always had like a million cars in the driveway, so it was kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, he's having a party, but I knew they were all just his. So I finally went and knocked on the door, and he answered, and he let me in right away, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, anyways, it was super weird because there was a woman, like a beautiful woman who, I don't know, she's like Guatemalan or something, I don't even know. She like broken English, beautiful. And he was like, this is, I can't remember her name, but this is so and so, and this is my son Joe Jr. And I was thinking in my head, like, this must be the mom or whatever. Or I knew it wasn't the mom because the kid was black and he was like white, and then she was like Guatemalan. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on, but this must be his
Genetically,
wife.
it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. Genetic. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I was like, okay, this must be his wife or something. Anyways, so he like disappears and he's like, oh, because he was like, oh, Joe Jr. and so will show you around. They'll show you the pool if you want or whatever. And I was like, okay, I don't know. And so, so she's like, him and his little kid are like giving me a mini tour, or they were gonna give me like a whole tour, but we went out and they showed me the backyard, which was like this like beautiful pool area.
It's massive.
And oh my gosh, like the front of the house, like I was so scared to go to this. It had literally two machetes, like two ginormous like I don't even know what you call them, like art pieces, like on the side of his house. But there was like machetes, like on the. I don't know. Anyways, so we're out in the front, and she's like explaining to me how she's like a nanny, and he's got like 5 nannies, and they're like in rotation, like each of them, like it's like she's like got Mondays and Wednesdays, and someone else has like Tuesdays, and someone else has blah blah, and it's like they nanny Joe Jr. all day and all night on those days, and Joe pays for them all to live together in a separate house. And she was like explaining all this to me, and I was like, okay, so you're not the mom and you're not the decision maker. So I literally got up. I was so annoyed because I was like, you're wasting my time. Like, why am I talking to your nanny?
Yeah.
So I walked back inside like by myself, and I literally just started yelling like, Joe, where are you at? Like, where are you? It's like a huge house. I'm like yelling. So he finally comes back in. I'm like, sit down. I'm gonna show you what I have. I like start doing my intro, and he just starts telling me about his business and his kids. And I was like listening, and I probably listened for like 10 minutes. And then I was like, all right, I pulled my slick out and I was like, this is what I'm doing. And he just, as soon as he looked at my slick, he was like, wow, this looks like some good stuff. Like, this looks awesome. How much is it? And I was like, for the whole
2,000.
thing? Yeah, literally. I was like, for the whole thing. And he was like, yeah, how much is it? Like, this looks great. I definitely like want this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't even know how much it was because he literally wanted everything for his like 2-year-old, you know? So I
remember
like
my
had to
first
like,
bag.
I had to like pull out. Yeah, this is my first summer. I like had to pull out my little, slick that had all the prices on it. And
And
I
just add
was
it
like,
up.
oh, it's like $2,000. And he goes, oh, that's it? Well, I have, well, we're definitely going to do that. But I also, so he was like, oh yeah, let's do it. So anyways, he's like writing the check, and he's like, you know what? He like stops writing the check. He goes, you know what? I know a lot of single moms and, friends in the area that have kids, and they just might not be able to afford something like this. Like, this would make a really good gift to some other
Yeah, it
people. And
would.
I was like, yeah,
Actually, most
basically
people pay for
everyone
that.
does. Yeah. I'm like, that's a great idea. Honestly, like a lot of people do that. Anyways, yeah, he didn't actually end up getting multiple sets, but
Damn. I
yeah,
was hoping you got like a 2 or 3 bag situation.
I know that'd be cool.
Damn. Selling the
Yeah.
bag is wild.
But wait until my story at the end of this.
Okay. All right. Now, selling the bag, though. The first time I sold a bag, it was my first summer, week 5, on a Monday. That was my best day ever. 275 units. They were my second customer. It was. There's moments, like you probably have these, and we could talk about those now since we're done with the rapid fire questions. But like, did you ever have moments where you were such in the flow, and then you looked up at the end of the day or the end of the week or whatever, and you're like, damn, like I might not hit 20,000 units, but I'm good at this job. Like that was crazy.
Oh yeah.
You ever had that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple of those. And that day was one of them. But I mean, it's just, you just can't miss. You know what I'm saying? You're like,
Yeah.
those days where you're like, I'm going to crush this. It was a mom and a daughter, and then she had a daughter. But it was one of those situations where it was like there no men lived in the house. The lady had 2 older daughters and then 1 younger daughter. So it was like a mixed all lady house, in such a way that like it made sense that they could get the MUFUs all the way up to like, we didn't have the CEA at the time. It was my first summer, but we had these like college CD pack things that you could buy.
Okay.
So like it made sense. And so basically I just showed them everything. And then the main mom and then the main grandma, they were kind of like the 2 matrions, head of the households. And they were like, they kind of looked at each other. They're like, how much is it all? And I was like, shit, I didn't think about this. And it, like at the time, it was like $13.98 plus tax. And I was like, I don't know, like $1,500 or something. And they're like, okay. And I was like, oh, no way.
It's so funny when you just go through the sales talk word for word, and then they're like, okay, we'll do it. And you're like,
oh, yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Now, it was funny because my first summer, I never really went through the full sales talk. I actually kind of deviated quite a bit. Let me rephrase this. And this is, maybe I'm biased by this, but this is why I believe that the intro is where the sale is made or lost. You could do the whole sales talk up to through the intro word for word, and you'll sell regardless of what you do after. Now, people say the close is the most important, or a good demo.
I agree with you. It's the intro.
Like, once you get that,
yeah,
like
100%.
If you've done it right, when you're done with the intro, the rest is just a formality. Like, it's, especially when you're in flow like that. And so what happened is, once I got that rapport established, and I knew I had the person, and when I say it like that, it sounds like we're tricking them into something. No. Like when I knew I had that connection with that person, I was like, oh, they're gonna buy. Now it's gonna be more of a question of like what makes more sense for them to buy. And so it was a cool feeling, because then I would deviate completely from like the demo called for the math or whatever, but sometimes I wouldn't even show the math. I'd just be like, here's what you want. The math's good. It's going to help with like all the equations and shit, but this is like when you were talking to me about writing papers, this 5th book is like great for that. And so I'd like just do a kind of not bullshit, but like just ad-libbed version.
Okay.
The demo.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what they teach you, right? Is like you're supposed to show them like what they kind of talked about, and
yeah. Well, but like how there was like the math part where you show the step by step, and then you go into the thing, and then you do like the temperature taking questions, and it's like you shouldn't need temperature taking questions at this point. Like you should have them. Like at this point, you should. Otherwise, you should leave. You're wasting time now because they're not gonna buy. And we all had that moment where we went through the sales talk, we got into the demo, and you're like, "There's no fucking way." Now, sure, maybe one of the 20 people that you went through did buy, even after you didn't think they would. But that's still not worth all the time that you wasted. Like I said,
all the people who end up not actually buying. If I gave them
the buying atmosphere, I knew they were buying. Otherwise, I'm out. Like, when do you sell the house? Anyway, all that to say, like, what I did do instead is I just spent a lot of time like getting pre-approach, and I spent a lot of time getting to know the community. So that this is really more where I'm like, they were going to buy the books. I'm like, here's how the math works, whatever. And then I'd be like, and they're like, how much is it? I'm like, well, Tammy bought this and she's paid $500 for it. That's what I'm charging for this amount. Great, cool, we'll take that. And then I'd spent, I'd close. But then I spent a lot of time like getting to know like the teachers, or like, hey, what did you like about math last year? And that's what I would be a lot. So like by week 5, I had all this information, and it was just jamming. That's my long story about that.
Advanced Sales by Andres Kimboa.
I mean, this is why like Danny's like, I learned a lot from you. I'm like, I don't know what you learned, because I didn't really do the job right. I just got to know people. But
I mean, that's selling relationships. Yeah. What?
I interrupted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you didn't. I was done.
Oh, okay. I thought you were done. Sometimes I misread.
I was going to say, my job, like now I'm like, it's just, it's crazy how much, I mean, I can tell you about what I do like later, but it's crazy how much relationships has to do with selling.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it doesn't sometimes even matter what you say. It's just like how deep is the relationship,
Yeah. Yeah.
How much do they like you?
Yeah. And they trust you because of that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, I mean, when I met my wife, she's like, oh, you've been in sales for so long. You must be really good at convincing people about stuff or persuading people. And I was like, no. I'm really good at connecting with people who want to connect with me.
Yeah.
Like if they are interested in talking to me, I will make them my best friend. And if they're not, that's okay. They don't know me their time. But once I have that connection, then I can suggest things and they'll be more apt to
Open-minded.
listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's someone who doesn't agree with me, I actually don't know what to do to get them to agree with me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get taught to do that.
Yeah.
There's people that can't do that.
I feel like it's so crazy too, because I realize now that, well, I guess, I don't know, maybe most people know this, but how much buying is emotional.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm shopping and I'm like not in the mood, I could literally look at something and like it and just be like, I just don't want to buy that right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it. I'm not finding anything I like. And then there's other days where I'm like totally in the mood to shop and everything I need it. And I'm just like buying everything I like. And it's just so crazy how much, has to do with just vibes and like how you feel. And so it's like, yeah, of course, when you meet someone that you really like and you connect with them and their energy is super high and, that is transferable. So your energy is really high or the buyer, like, of course, they're going to be more apt to buying from you. Like, they're happy, they're enjoying their time with you. Like they trust you now and they're in the mood to buy. Like that's kind of what you're doing there is you're like getting people in the mood to buy.
Yeah. And and what you learn too is that the more that you're yourself, the better chance you have of having that connection. Because like for example, like I like to think I'm funny, but some people that I followed, they weren't funny. They were just like very professional and very like kind, very like Joel Cush I was telling you about. Like Joel's a funny guy. I think he's funny and he's got a good sense of humor, but he's not witty. Like that's not the first adjective that I would come up to describe Joel. I describe him as like really humble, really kind, really motivated, really simple, really like down to earth, right? Which is a great set of qualities to have in a person. But he'd always be that way. So when you'd approach, he'd always be like that. But I wasn't. I was like crazy, like why, like like just I would say the dumbest shit just to make people laugh. Not because I meant it. It was just because if I get this person to laugh, they're probably gonna buy something from me.
Yeah,
because that's who I am. You know what I mean? And just being silly like that, like yeah. So like it's all about the relationships, like you said. But the best way to form a relationship is to just be as much of yourself as possible.
Because people can see through when you're just being fake, like people sense if you're being genuine or if you're just trying to, act a certain way to get someone to like you. Like nobody likes that.
Yeah. Well, and being yourself, first of all, yes, because being yourself can be fluid. So what I mean by like that is like you can be yourself and be professional, but there's also a version of yourself that's unprofessional. And you just kind of some situations called for that. Like some situations it was very like often big break. You'd be like very, hey sir, hi ma'am, very professional, very like buttoned up. You got to look nice. Unfortunately, that's the way of the world. If you're selling big break and you look like shit, that's just not going to work.
Yeah.
You look nice. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other hand, you're selling down at the holler in West Virginia and nobody cares that you're using good words or that you're not, that you don't say you know what I'm saying? Like they'll say inappropriate things to you. Sometimes racist things to you. Or I guess as a woman I can't imagine the things they would say to you. but like, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll say some shit that you're like, okay, well, it's all right. We can kind of, or if they start cussing, you're cool to cuss too. You know what I'm saying? There's no cuss words in sales talk, but like you just kind of had to like be fluid with who you were as a person, but still stay to yourself and stay true to what you believe in and like who you were, but then be flexible. So it's a cool way to learn that skill. Wow.
Yeah. It's never cool to cuss though.
Shut the front door. Never cool. Dude, there's some people that
never cool.
Cuss, it's cool.
Not in God's eyes.
Agree. Oh shit! Don't give me that. You know what? We're moving on. How did you? God created cuss words. You know that?
I don't think so. I think the devil created cuss words.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Agree to disagree. I think cuss words are a fine instrument for expression of emotions.
Why don't we ask God?
I did. I asked him this
We'll
morning.
get back to each other.
I asked him this morning. He's like, "It's cool, dude." I was like, "Hey, God, can I cuss?" And he was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was like,
Oh my gosh. All right. We have different gods. That's so funny.
I got the West Virginia God.
Anyways.
You got the Massachusetts God.
The Massachusetts. Oh my
Big
gosh.
break. You got the big break God. Mine is more.
Yeah, I feel like, I was going to say, actually, never mind.
What?
I wouldn't make sense.
Is that a story for Bisler, or you got what do you got?
No, I just don't know if it makes sense. I was thinking out loud for a second, and then I was like,
That's all right. All right. How did you? Because I do want to talk about what you're up to now, but I'll get to that. How did you get into Southwestern in the first place? Like, how did you hear about
your brother?
What, did he float you? Like, what happened?
So I was in a chemistry class, I think. I don't really actually remember this very well, but I think it was, Danny probably gave an announcement to fill out a survey if people were interested in learning about an internship, and I filled out yes. And then he called me up one Sunday night and invited me to an informational session. And it's funny because yeah, I was a survey girl. I didn't know anybody that was doing it.
Interesting.
I had never heard of it before. And he actually mentioned that it was during the summer on the phone call to invite me to the informational session. And immediately I was like, well, that's not going to work out. Like, I can't. Because I thought it was like an internship in Lincoln or something over the summer. And I was like, well, I can't afford to live in Lincoln over the summer. I'm going to be living at home. So I almost didn't go to the informational session. But for whatever reason, I ended up going, and I was like, did not think anything. I was like, anything was going to come of it. I literally like pulled up in sweatpants and like a beanie and like didn't bring notes, like out. Like I was just like, whatever I said I was going to be. Oh, the reason I went is because Danny said he'd save me a spot.
Yes.
He's like, oh, I'll save you a spot. And I was like, like, I'm not going to blow you off.
Dang it.
Like, I guess I'll go.
Did he do the info?
So he wasn't even there. It was a really good info. It was a lot of people actually that were there.
Who did the info?
Shayna and Seth.
Oh, sharp.
So, they're
sharp
cool
folks.
looking.
Yeah. They're good. They're both good looking.
They're good. They're both good looking. Like, I was like, this seems like a cool thing to do. And actually, I was so bought in from the very beginning, and it never went away. Like, I was just like, I'm in. Like, I can make that much money doing this.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna ask.
Well, I was like praying. I was really praying, like, for consistently, like every night, like, because I about like paying for college, because I genuinely did not know how I was going to pay for college. Like, I struggled a lot my freshman year of college, because I paid my whole way through college, and my freshman year I was kind of hit with reality and went through all of my savings and literally had my dining hall privileges taken away from me because I couldn't pay my bill on time. And so they like took my dining hall privileges away. So I was in a sorority also paying for that. But that was something I really wanted to do, and it was worth it for me at the time. So I ended up like eating there. I was technically only supposed to eat there like 5 days a week, or like 5 times, but I ate there more than that, that like week that I got my privileges taken away. And then I would go to the Foundry, and this is when Danny had a tab there, and he said that we could like get coffee or whatever we wanted there when we were there. So I literally was like getting food there on his tab, and like lattes, like for calories. Like I was like not eating very much at all my freshman year, because I was like broke. Yeah, it was bad. So I was praying, like, I need to figure something out. Like, I need some way of making money. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Even if I worked like 40 hours a week, all summer long, there's no way I can pay for college, like, still.
Wow.
So then that happened, and I was like, oh, great. God's answering my prayers. Like, this is what I'm doing.
That's so wild.
I know. I remember asking Danny because the whole the whole interview process, like I was just trying to impress. Like I just treated them like normal interviews. Like, and then I started interviewing and I was like, oh, this is a lot different than I remember, you know, like now I'm a recruiter. I thought this was like, but,
It's very much.
but yeah, I remember like Danny did my last interview and I was like, so, cause at this point I understood what the whole job was. And I was like, all right, what's the least amount of money someone's made doing this? You know, like what's the least amount? And he said, well, if you work all summer, like I would say the least amount's like $5,000. And I was like, sold, I'm in. Like, that sounds great. I don't care. Like, I didn't care about the hours. I didn't care about what I was doing. Like, I can make $5,000. Like,
done.
$40 was a lot of money to me back then, you know? So I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm doing it. And I like the idea of building my resume. Like all my friends, you know, were very impressive in my eyes at the time, you know, like they all came from really good families. So they all had, you know, lots of connections and they all had internships. And so I was like, okay, I need an internship and traveling sounds really cool. And I can use this to pay for college. Like, yeah. Sign me up.
Okay. I got a couple questions for you. One.
Okay.
Did you grow up wealthy or not? Did your parents?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Not terrible. Like I always had my necessities, but yeah, I mean, I basically, so my parents got divorced when I was 8.
Really?
And then, yeah.
Did I know this? I don't think we've talked about this ever.
I don't know.
Look at that. Getting to know each other on the Ponytails podcast.
And so my mom was like kind of a single mom for a while. And luckily, she ended up marrying my stepdad now, who I love. And my dad's in the picture too. But yeah, it was just rough. Like, you know, and my mom always wanted to provide. So like I was in dance and I still had all my everything I needed, but we just didn't have extra money. So like college was out of the question. So, and I've always I've had a job since I was like 12.
I did not know that. I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
Much respect. I mean, I already respect a lot, but you know, we're peeling new layers of the juicy Lainey onion.
Yeah.
And it's like learning so much. That's wild. What did your parents say when you said you were going to do this? Like, what your mom or stepdad?
They doubted, or actually, my mom was really supportive. Well, because I mean, it's like I already pay for all my stuff. Like, what are you gonna say? You know?
Yeah, you're
like,
financially independent. That's...
But so I detasseled when I was in middle school,
What
and my parents like doubted me. Like, yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. Like, because I've always been a girly girl. And so, and I've always had drive. Like I've always like wanted, I think the drive comes out of like, I've always like wanted nice things, but I had to like pay for them myself. So I've always like had drive to like make money. And so when I was like in middle school, I heard about detasseling and I was like, I want to do this. Like you can make a lot of money doing this. And I remember my stepdad, Mike, he was like, you're going to last one day. Like you're going to get dirty and you're not going to want to do it again. And I was like, shut up. Like,
just
watch me. Yeah. And my mom was just kind of like, my mom's awesome. Like she's an angel. She's always just kind of been like, you can do anything. Like, you know? And so I think that was like my first confidence anchor. Like my parents' first confidence anchor in me is like I did detasseling and I finished and I didn't complain about it and I made money. And so I think with selling books, it was kind of one of those things where it was like, okay, like do you. Like I don't know. They didn't try to convince me out of it. So they were pretty supportive, I'd say.
Damn. And then did at any point it changed from money to more than just the money? I mean, you kind of already mentioned like the resume and stuff, but like I guess I'm asking because
of course,
oftentimes that happens, and even for me, where it's like at first it was also the money, but then as I started like doing the job, especially, I was like, there's more to this than just the money.
Yeah. Of course, it's always been about the money, but like it's also always been about other things too. It was never just money. I think my first summer, I would have done it just because of money, but obviously all the other things were really attractive too. Like I've always been growth minded and just hungry to grow as a person. So that was really motivating. And like doing what I say I'm going to do has always been a thing of mine. Like, so that obviously helped. I think it'd be really hard to go out and sell door to door 80 hours a week if like the only reason literally you're doing it is because of money,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
that's hard.
Mhm.
And I think it was after my, first summer, second summer, it's like the money was very motivating, but it was a lot more than just money. Like I was growing so much. I like had emotional purposes that were not money related that I was really dedicated to growing in like each summer. And yeah, each week I had different stuff. So I think there's so many things that Southwestern's great for
Yeah.
in self-development,
No, I understand that. It's just wild because of how quickly those things start becoming more important. And again, like
Yeah.
the money is important. I'm not trying to say like nobody. I wouldn't do this for free. I would now have gone sell door to door.
No.
Nobody would. But like,
That'd be
no,
rough.
but like there is an aspect of it that's like this is more. And I talked to Logan about this a little bit too. And a lot of my guests on this show have been. We've talked about it, but just I always think about like I always learned how to be a good parent. Not I don't have any kids, but there's so many
Yeah.
different instances, and I'm like that was cool. Like I want to be like that, or at the very least how to not be a shitty parent. Because you run into parents and you're like, oh my gosh, what is this person doing with their kids? Like this is insane. This is why your kid's a bully. like because you're a bully and it's not cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's wild. Now, I always like asking about firsts. I mean, I'll probably hear stories. We'll probably get into stories about all sorts of different aspects of your summers, but I always like to hear about the first if you remember them. So if you don't remember, don't worry. Don't get caught up on them if you're like have to like super think. But generally speaking, like, do you remember the first time you went to sales school? Do you remember what that was like?
Yes.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Tell me about your week of sales school.
Okay.
I think it's because, and I say this every episode, but it's because it's the one, like the firsts are all things that everybody that sold books remembers. Not everybody can relate to becoming an FSL or a DSL or whatever, or selling, a lot of units, but everybody relates to the first store, or the first customer, the first time you see Mort's or whatever,
Oh my gosh.
What was it like for you?
Oh my gosh. I had such an emotional sales school. I think it was great. Like I had a lot of fun, and the first couple of days were great. I was thriving. It was whatever. It was really fun. But I remember the real deal.
Yeah.
That day, I was so mad.
Wait,
like,
did you get picked?
No, but I got called out. Okay, I'll tell you the story.
Wait. You didn't get picked to go do the real deal?
No.
Okay, but you got called out.
I got called out.
Say more. By the way, how's your drink
AJ.
doing?
What's that?
How's your drink doing?
Halfway. How's yours?
I'm almost done with mine, so you better catch up. Okay. Finish it.
Mm-mm. You just finished that? Are you drinking that straight?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm making my way.
The guy at the liquor store said that I could drink this tequila straight, but they had these cute little mixers. Look how cute this is.
Oh, that is cool. Oh, so you're mixing it in there.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm pouring it in here.
Margarita mix into the tequila. I see.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh. Yeah. Anyways, my real deal, AJ was doing it. And gosh, okay, so during sales school, my buddy during my first sales school was Ani Ortega. Have you ever met him?
Ugh, do I know Ani Ortega?
I love him. Shout out Ani. I haven't talked to him in forever.
I almost met Ani before you were born. Almost. Is how long I
Really?
know. Yeah. Dude, you were born in 2000, right? I met Ani maybe in
Yeah.
2003.
Oh my god, when he was 3 or
Yeah. Ani
4?
was a little tiny little kid when I met him.
Oh
Like
my
tiny cuz
gosh.
cuz his mom Holly and his older brother Uriah played soccer with me. And when we first early on in the days of soccer and enter my dad's team, I played with Uriah, who was Ani's older brother.
Aw.
So I literally have known
Aw.
Ani since he was a little
He's
shit.
so
Like,
great. I need to call him up sometime. I haven't
yeah,
talked to him in forever.
Ani's the man.
He was my buddy during sales school because we were on a team, with Danny together. And he got selected for the real deal.
Yikes.
And oh my gosh, it's so funny. I
Brutal.
still laugh thinking about it.
It's
So
brutal.
AJ was so hard on us. Like, he was
What's the
so
name?
hard. Oh no, he would no. Like, after all this time looking back at all the real deals, like, let me tell you the stuff he did. So he was like not chill, like, for not even one of them. Like, you
Yeah.
know how most real deals, it's like, it's like they knock on the door and it's just like, hey, I'm not interested, or like, hey, I've got a meeting, can't talk right now, or it's just they're supposed to throw you off kind of, and then there's some of
Weak
them that are
wheel
really
deals.
like whatever. AJ was, I mean, seriously, I've never even seen this type of behavior on the book field. And I was just so mad because I knew it was like so unrealistic. And he was just like, whatever. Anyways, I'm still salty about it.
Yeah, dude.
Clearly.
Okay, so here's the deal about real deals is that's why they have a different OL from a different division.
Yeah.
Do it because, like, oh, it's because
What
your
is
thumbs
that?
up. If you put your
Oh
thumb
my
up,
gosh.
yeah, it'll
That's
come
so
up.
cool.
Yeah, see, there it is again.
That's so fun.
But anyway, the reason that they have a person from like a different org entirely come do it is because they don't want you to hate your own managers. Because it's
Yeah.
like, have you seen Amy Pagozzi or Amy Groom now? I guess.
Yeah,
Groom?
she did one of mine.
Dude,
Or like
brutal,
when I was in OL.
brutal.
No. You don't understand. Like,
You're telling me AJ
AJ,
was worse than that?
yeah, like times 10.
No, dude.
Amy's rough. Like, Amy's tough on people. Amy actually told my first year that his name sucked. McLean. What kind of name is that? Do your parents hate you? She was like, that's a stupid name.
We should probably explain what
He
this
was
is
like,
before Amy looks bad. Amy's a great human being, and we love her very much.
Oh, I love Amy.
Let's
She's
explain.
great.
Let's
Yeah.
explain. You explain the real deal. We've explained it on the show
Okay.
before, but
Okay.
for people listening who might be your friends who are like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Do Southwestern, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's brutal. But explain.
So the real deal is like the third day of sales school, where everyone's doing their training and it's really intense and all day. Anyways, the OLs will pick a manager or someone at the family of companies to come and do an exercise with your organization, like your little team for the summer, and they'll pick like 3 people to knock on, like, everyone stands in the circle and then they pick a couple people to practice knocking on their door, and then it's just supposed to be like hard situations to get people prepared to go out and sell books, and it's supposed to be pretty intense so that you're expecting it to be hard so that when you go out there it's like you're not thrown off when people are mean. Was that a good explanation?
It's excellent. Now,
Okay.
So which it's tangent really quick, which is way blows my mind when you see people on YouTube. And this is not to defend Southwestern because I could give 2 shits less about what people think of Southwestern. But like, it's funny to me when you see people on YouTube or on Google or whatever just shitting on Southwestern, and a lot of the review is like, they never told me it was going to be this hard. I didn't know what they were expecting.
Yeah,
And it's
I'm like,
bro,
that's
what are you talking about?
if
They
you went to
basically
sales school,
try to
like,
scare you out of going out during sales school so that you don't end up thinking that you don't know what you're getting yourself into. It's very clear what's about to happen to you, which is why it's so insane. That tangent is over. But that's the whole purpose of that exercise, is to just really which is thus the name, real deal. Go on.
Yeah. So Ani's up, and I think he was like the last person, and I laugh in inappropriate situations. Like, I feel like it's maybe
Funerals?
a coping mechanism or something. I don't know.
Me too.
But do you really? I'm
Oh,
not
dude.
surprised.
I deal with bad things with humor. Like I'm the
Yeah.
typical like too soon. Like
Yeah.
and it's like no, it's not. It was I needed
Yeah.
to do that for myself. You cry, I laugh. Sorry about
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, it was actually really funny. Um, so the first, I'm gonna give you some examples of what AJ did,
Okay.
just to like set the tone and
And again, AJ's
picture,
a great human
this in your
being.
brain.
He's a really
I
nice
hated
guy.
it for so long until we went to VIP trip together, and I was like, "Oh, you're cool." We actually played a drinking game, and I literally was so hard on him. Like I was so just like taking my anger out on him. And I have a video. It's so funny. We're playing like Tippy Cup or whatever, and he was right before me, and he like couldn't get his ball, and I was like kicking it like all across the room. I was like, "Screw you!" Like you.
Yes.
Anyways, I do love AJ. He's awesome.
He's a great guy. He was
After
just
you get
doing
to
his
know him.
job for people
He was doing
listening.
his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a little bit hard on us, but
You're still salty about it.
anyways, so seriously, Ani would like knocked on the door, and he was like literally opened the door like, "What the F are you doing? Like, you're the scum of the earth." Like grabbed his bag and chucked it as far as he could across the parking lot. Like that was like maybe the first one, and then the second one was just like, I don't know, it was just ridiculous, like all of them. And then the last one, he just didn't answer the door for a little bit, and so for those of you who are listening that didn't sell books, we're taught to knock 3 times, 3 steps back, wait. If they don't answer, you knock again. So anyways, he didn't answer. So Ani was about to go knock again. And as soon as he went up to the door, AJ like fake opened the door as Ani's like Ani like knocked again. And he didn't realize that AJ was opening the door. So he went down to pick up his bag and then looked up, and AJ was like literally just like this, and then shut the door. And Ani's face, like I can just picture it in my head, and it makes me laugh because he literally like was like this, like looked up, literally looked up and was like, oh. And I started dying laughing, like sitting. I was like saw Ani's face, and I was just like,
good.
I busted out laughing, and AJ was like, "You think this is effing funny? Like, you're like just like, oh my god!" And I was like, "No, like,
not anymore. No,
it's like, don't kill me,
dude."
And then Danny pulled me aside like that night or whatever to PC with me, and I was like, that was such a dumb exercise. Like, screw him. Like, I hated that. That's not even realistic. And then I started crying because I missed my family. But I wasn't like gonna go home. I was just like emotional, and I was just stressed
Did you cry
out.
every day in the book field?
No.
Okay.
No. I did cry a lot, but not every day.
I think Aisha cried every day in the book field.
Every single day?
Yeah,
she sold books for a lot of summers. Or just her first summer? I'm like, dang, she really stuck through.
Dude, I was there for Aisha and Danny's first summer. So if you have questions,
that's so fun.
I got answers.
That is so fun.
Dude, what a funny time. Okay, so now you go out. So you go to Massachusetts. What's your first store like? Do you remember that? Dude, I love the first.
It was like not memorable at all. Oh, my first day was though.
As a whole means, we're all ears.
My first door was very unmemorable. Like I just knocked and whatever. I don't even remember. It wasn't like a negative experience. It wasn't like he didn't sit down with me. It was just kind of like, okay, cool.
We had someone on recently who's the first door they sold the bag. The first knock on the first door of the first summer. Yeah.
Logan did that this last summer, but not his first summer.
Yeah, he told
ever.
us about that. I think he did mention that. No, I want to say it was Will Arthur or somebody we've had on recently. They were like, yeah, like that set the tone for his career because it was like, I just thought it was easy.
Wow, yeah, that's beast.
Imagine Ken's dressing guy is your first door. He's just like,
oh, I'd be like, I signed up for the right job. This is great.
How many dollars a unit? 8. Got it. Well, I just made $800.
Yeah, I'm done for the day. I'm going to the movie theater.
That's right. See? That's the spirit. That's the
Penis.
spirit, Raymakers.
You
Anyway,
got to take the momentum and take it to the next door.
yeah, momentum right into the movie theaters, into the movie marathon. All right.
Okay.
So your first day.
So I literally pulled a muscle my first day because I didn't follow anybody. Like my first day was like,
Off the deep end.
I didn't follow anybody. They just were like, all right, go work. And I was like, okay. So I didn't really know that people drove to every single house. So I just like parked my car and walked this neighborhood and I ran to every single house because I thought that's what you had to do.
So you
like
ran
I
for
sprinted.
13 hours.
I sprinted and they did not tell us how to prospect back then, like they didn't tell us like they teach now in sales school to skip old people and stuff and like to skip houses that don't look home, they didn't teach us. They told us to go to every single house. So I literally sprinted to every single house in the neighborhood, like across the street, across the yard, like everywhere. Didn't ask for any pre-approach because we didn't learn that yet. And I eventually lost it was like lunchtime and I was like, oh, I'm hungry. And I like looked around and I was like, I don't remember where I parked. Like, this is a big neighborhood. I don't know where my car is. I literally, like, it was my first day. I was like, I need to set the tone. Like, I can't like be walking and wasting time. So I was like running around the neighborhood with my backpack and trying to find my car. And, I finally found it, but I got home that day and I seriously was hurting.
Holy
like shit. I had pulled like my groin.
Running all day. Yeah, that would be.
My first customer, though, was really cool. My first customer approached me.
What happened?
He was walking his dog and I was like running, to houses. And he was like, hey, what are you doing? And so I just started doing my sales talk like on the street. I was like, he showed him my slick. And I just started doing my sales talk. And then
dog walker.
Yeah, he bought the CEA for his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter. He's like, oh, we need college prep. And I was like, cool. And I actually wrote it up in practice mode. So I didn't actually get any of his card information. So I had to go back. Like, I had to go back that evening and do the whole order again. But it worked out. He was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
That was my first customer ever.
I always ask this, but when you sell your first customer, you're like, holy shit, this works. Like,
it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is so great.
Yeah. That's so wild. Did you get off to a hot start that summer? Were you off to was it?
The way I remember it was hot, but looking at my units, it wasn't hot. Like, I felt like it was hot, but maybe they canceled. I don't know why my units look so funny. Because, I mean, yeah, like, my first 3 weeks were bad on whatever you call it.
On, like, your...
Like, 50-something my first week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I had I think I did have I think my first week I had a couple of 0 days and then I followed. So that's like 3 days of not working. Or I guess not working, but like 3 days of no sales and then 1 day of not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
not a big
not a big start.
You still ended up pretty well.
My first day I had 2 customers, I remember. And then I think I had maybe a couple of 0 days and I was like, oh, this is hard. And then I followed and then...
Who did you follow?
Yeah, I don't know. I followed Meredith my second day. And then I followed Danny after I like had a couple 0 days and I was like, this is so hard. And I think he thought I was like maybe wanting to quit, which I wasn't. I never said I wanted to quit, but I think maybe he thought that because he had me follow him. And then he wasn't really like that helpful because he's so good at what he does and he like does things so just he's very himself, which isn't really how I sell. So I was like, it gave me motivation because he sold to everybody that day. And I was like, wow, this actually works. Okay, this is good. And then it wasn't until I followed Aisha, and her and I are very similar. And I was able to like mimic her a lot. So it helped a lot. And then I started producing.
Yeah, that's a problem with you when you have someone like Danny or even Meredith, where it's just like they're good in a different way, so you can't replicate that because it's just like you're not. This isn't helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was helpful though. I'm glad I saw that because I think I was like getting to a point where I was like, this doesn't get better. This is, it's not getting better. And then I watched him have like 10 customers and I was like, okay, it probably gets better. Like,
Was
I'll
that the
stick
summer
it out.
he sold like he hit Morton stuff? That was 20,
Yeah.
yeah. So he had a great summer. Oh yeah, that was a good summer for him.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. I only followed Danny
My
like
first
once or
summer was
twice.
great.
Yeah, and he
Everyone
followed.
was jamming.
He never followed me. He like followed me for like 2 hours at the end of a day once. That was it.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't like we were, which is sad. I
Dang.
wish I had to follow Danny, or at least when I was selling a lot, I wish we'd got to follow me because that was you know
My
that
brother sold books
really.
and yeah.
I didn't know that. Is he still selling? Or
As a he's still in high school.
oh no way! He just went out this last
So
summer.
he just came. No, he sold 2 summers ago. He
So
sold
he
as
was
a
in junior.
sophomore
No way.
because I thought it was gonna be my last summer, and I was like, "You gotta come sell books with me. Like, we gotta sell together." Well,
How do you do?
actually, not great because I mean, he didn't even get a full summer.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he had to go
hard.
back for football and stuff, but
Plus, he's
he had
young.
fun. He had a great attitude the whole time. Like,
That's great.
I think he had a good time.
Yeah.
But he was, yeah, it was like a couple weeks yeah, he also didn't get very much preparation because it was like a couple weeks before the summer, and he was like, we were at dinner and it was like my last weekend that I was at home, and he was just talking to me about how he wasn't going to play football during the summer because he just wanted to work and make money. And I was like, what? You're not going to play football? Like, what the heck? Like, why aren't you going to play sports? And he was just explaining it to me. And I was like, well, you can drive now if you want to come sell books with me.
No way.
And he was like, can I really? Like, he was all about it. So then we had to convince my mom. And
Wow.
yeah, so
As
he
a
was down.
sophomore.
Him
That's
and I are very
great.
similar. We have very similar, like, personalities. Like, he's kind of like a screw it guy. Like, I'll kind of do whatever.
Yeah. I like that about you. You have like a bro. Like ever since I've met you, because I met you right after that summer.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
We went rock climbing.
No, that was not the first time I met you.
No, yeah, you're right. The first time you met me, wasn't it at the Hilltop House?
No, do you not? You don't remember this? I remember
No, when
this.
did you meet me?
I remember this because Danny hyped you up. He was like,
As he should.
it was right after the summer, and he was like, he was like, hey, I'm gonna go to Grant's. You want to come with? And I was like, sure. And then we were about to go, and then you called him. You're like, yo, what's up? You're like, what are you doing? He's like, we're going to Grant's. Do you want to come? And you're like, all right. And then we went to Grant Greeter's house, and we went like tubing or jet skiing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's right.
And I remember immediately thinking, this girl's like total bro. Like, no, and I don't know if some people listening, if that sounds like an insult. No, I mean that with lots of love. It was like, you just chill, like go with the flow. I fuck with people like that.
Thanks.
It's like, this is great. This is like all terrain, as my mom calls it. This person's all terrain, 4x4. You
Oh, okay.
whatever the situation, it's just like
Yeah.
yeah,
Go
this
with
is
the
fine.
flow.
It's fine. Now, some people are like really uptight about certain situations, or like being like, being on a podcast, or
Oh.
whatever, meeting new people, or going to a different location, or eating weird food, or you know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
like really,
yeah.
You're not like that. You're like more like,
No.
yeah, whatever.
I like to try new things. I like to meet all kinds of different people. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So I just remember thinking, I'm like, this chick's cool. Like, I could see her do well. Because I remember Danny was like, oh, dude, this was one of my first years. She just kicked ass this summer. She's really totally like, he described you to me. I was like, what's she like? And he described you as, she's like Amanda Q, but like more like chill. And I was like, that's a compliment because Amanda Q is like a total like badass, like just really cool
Huh.
chick. Um,
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
she's a book girl, and she's Amanda Peterson originally, and she ate Danny and Anisha's first summer, but she's hilarious. Amanda's so funny. We love Amanda here on the show,
Oh, I've got to
but
meet her.
she's like really intense because she's like intense from a standpoint of like she gets shit done, like she does. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm out. I'm gonna go kill it. Screw everybody. Get out of my way. I'm gonna go crush this. And then when she's done, she's like, "What's up, guys?" Like just chill, like super high intensity. Where so Danny was like,
Huh.
she's like, she's
Cool.
like, Lainey's like that, but a little more chill. I was like, cool. And then I
I'll
mentioned, I
take
was
it.
like, yeah, I could see it. That's sweet. That's a sweet first year right there because that's what you want. You know, coachable, chill, all terrain. That makes a good first year any day. So that's the first time I met you.
Nice.
Yeah,
I never heard that story. Cool.
yeah, dude, that was a good time. But okay, so you started off kind of slow. When did it click for you when you
Yeah.
were selling?
When I followed Aisha,
Oh, and
after
then
I
after
followed
that,
Aisha, yeah. Like it literally went from probably like 100 units to like, it literally went to from 100 units to 300 units. And then I never went below 300 units again after I followed Aisha.
damn.
And then it was like 400 units, 500 units,
Do you have
like
PC your first summer?
almost.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Not quite,
What'd you
but
finish with? Like what? 25?
3
3,000. That's a good
3,000.
summer. So you made $24,000, something like that. $20,000.
It's like 19,000,
Yeah. Well, the
but
units was different
close
at the time.
enough. Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, which pays for school.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it did. It was great. I actually was still broke that year, but I felt a lot better about my situation because I paid for all my I paid off all my loans. That was the first thing I did when I got back from my first summer. And yeah. And then I was
Yeah.
like broke again. But I was happy that I paid. Oh, and then I never took out another loan after my first summer. Like I never even took out another one.
Yeah. So
So
you got it of the hole.
so I still had to work, 2 jobs. My
Where did you work?
second year of college. I worked at Healthy Fresh Cafe is what it was called. It actually went out of business. That's after I stopped working there. It went out of business
They
shortly
lost
after.
you, and it was over after that.
Yeah, it was just like downhill from there. Don't fire me, people.
Healthy Fresh Cafe.
They didn't fire me. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, it was called Healthy Fresh Cafe, and
In Lincoln?
I worked there. Yeah.
Where the hell is that?
Yep. And then I also worked at Hotworks, which is like a gym.
Hot Works.
I wanted to work at places that I actually like, I wanted to work out at Hotworks, so I just started working there so I could get like a
Hotworks.
free membership. Have you ever heard of Hotworks before?
No. Lincoln, Nebraska.
You work out in a sauna. It's like a bunch of saunas, and there's like workouts that you can do, and they're just 24 hours, and it's like a
Whoa.
workout on a screen. You just go in there and do your little workout, and they're like 15 to 30 minutes long, so they're super quick.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Get fit at Hot Works.
That's where I worked.
Just like
My
college girls working at Hot Works.
my sorority sister worked there, and she
Oh.
helped me get the job.
Is that Shayna? No.
No, she was not in my sorority,
Oh.
but
We love Shayna. Shayna's the coolest person ever.
yeah, she just got engaged.
No way. Tell her I said congrats.
I will.
Dude, Shayna's beast.
So happy for her.
Yeah.
She's great.
I always thought
I
she showed us
forget
so
that y'all
much.
know each other. Oh, she would have been so good.
Dude, she would have crushed.
She would have been number one first year.
Dude, she would have crushed. I remember when I met her, we were leaving. I was going to go play soccer, and she was leaving the Cook Pavilion. I was going in, and she had a soccer ball on her, and I'm like, whoa.
She's a beast at playing
She's
soccer.
so
like
good.
amazing.
Yeah, she's very good. So I was like, hey, pass me the ball. Just because I'm an extrovert. So I just saw her.
Yeah.
She had a ball.
And
I'm
she
like,
is
"Pass it."
too. She's an extrovert.
And so she's like,
too.
okay. And she passed it to me. And I just did like a couple tricks and stuff. And I passed it back to her. And she does a couple tricks. And I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, let's go play. We're about to go play. And she's like, all right. So she turns around and she comes back to play with us. It was so, and I was like, this. And I remember thinking, I was like, damn, if I was still selling books, I would have totally tried to recruit this girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I tried so hard. But I don't know. It honestly all worked out for her. Like,
Yeah.
she's marrying a great guy, and like she was able to. I mean, she just came to Texas every summer and like hung out with his family, and his family's
Yeah.
super, they're
Yeah.
well off, and yeah,
Yeah.
she's gonna
I
be
keep
fine.
up with her every once in a
Now
while.
she's in
Sometimes,
sales.
yeah, it's hilarious how that works, right? I
Yeah.
keep up with her every once in a while because I think I have her on Snapchat, and I don't get on there very often except to message Colin Appel.
Oh,
And yeah, because him and Steph are on there anyway. And so every once in a while, you kind of click through people's stories on there, and I see him like, oh, that's cool. She's doing this now. Like that's awesome. Or I'll
oh,
see
you
her on
have her on
Facebook.
Snapchat? Is that what you
Yeah,
just said?
that's how
Oh my
that's the
gosh.
only way I've ever been connected with her because she gave me her snap when we met so we could message about playing
Oh.
soccer because I was still like I still had a membership. Long story short, but you know how like the new rock gym got built is because they actually for people who went to school in between 2012 and 2015, they charged us extra for our tuition so they could build that rock climbing gym that's on campus.
Wow, I'm glad we
So
used it
yeah, there you go. You and I
one
did use it.
time.
That was also a good time. That was so fun.
Yeah.
But because of that, when the year after you graduated, you're granted an extra year of the Cook Pavilion privileges and the rock climbing gym, so you can go there for free without a membership. And so even though I was already graduated, because I graduated in 2018, because I was out of college and then came back, I was still going to the Cook, and so I was still able to play indoor and still able to play soccer. And we were doing a co-ed team, and we always needed girls because no girls like to play soccer. At least at the time I was in school there, we had a hard time finding people to play. So I was like, dude, I need to get a hold of you so you could play on our team. You're good. And she's like, okay, here's my snap. And then that was it. That was the only time I think maybe I added her on Facebook later on, but like for
Okay.
a long time, the only way we
That's
talked
so
was like
funny.
this. Every once in a while she'd upload something about playing Fortnite and be like, yo, I'm
Oh
playing. Yeah,
my
stuff like that, dude. Yeah.
gosh.
It's
Yeah, I mean she plays still, so
yeah.
you could.
So I'm gonna have to hit her up and be like, hey, we need a fourth for Fortnite.
Yeah, you should. That'd be.
Dude.
I'll give her some. I'll give her a heads up.
Yeah, Shayna's the beast. So if she's listening, she'll probably listen to this hopefully. But you're a
Yeah.
beast, Shayna. You rock.
Shout
Don't
out
ever change.
Sheena.
Hell yeah.